In 1994, Porsche released a special edition of the 911 to mark 30 years of the model. They call it the 30 Jahre 911, which is German for 30 years. Widespread body, swap badging, a small commemorative emblem on the back. And now, 3 decades later, a designer named Gritworks decided to name their first 65% keyboard after that exact car. This is a Jahre65. Hey everyone, welcome back to Scoop Bar. Today's video is sponsored by Gritworks, the designer behind Jahre65. The take you're about to hear is mine, the good and the bad, and you're going to hear both. Gritworks did not have a chance to review this video, so standard Scoop Bar deal. They've also lined up trusted vendors in pretty much every region: Gion, Keybay, Keyspensory, Prototypist, and a handful more, so wherever you're watching from, there's a shop that you can buy this one through. If you're new here, hello, my name is Jeff, and my friend V and I run Scoop Bar as a passion project alongside our full-time job. So if you find this useful, hit subscribe and drop a like, and affiliate links are in the description to go with whatever region vendor makes sense for you. Help us keep this going. 2 things to know up front. 1, the ESD sheet on this board is mandatory. This is to prevent shortening of the PCB. 2nd, it is VAL ready out of the box, a nice quality of life feature without needing to find the correct JSON file to remap your keys. For the specs, this is a 65% layout, 9-degree typing angle, 17mm front height, 6063 aluminum case, top and bottom. Bare bones is $335 USD. That gets you the case, the weights, silicone socks, the daughter board, foams, the ESD sheet, and for the Group Buy, 2 sets of pour-on gaskets plus 4 spray pads. Note the PCB and plate are sold separately, so the price is honestly closer to $400 USD. 7 colorways. Group Buy is May 1st to June 6th, and estimated shipping Q4 of this year. So Gritworks named this kit after the Porsche 964, the 30 Jahre 911 anniversary edition. The case has shuttle shaped curves on top to echo the wide body fenders. The bottom has a tuck line and an air intake slot pattern referencing the front hood. The internal weights are shaped like the rear air intake grill, and the designer says he wants the kit to be, quote, collectible and heritage worthy. Now, heritage is not something you can just claim. It's something that the board has to earn over time, so we'll see. But the level of accessory thinking and build quality on this prototype are the right foundation if Gritworks wants to actually get there. And now aesthetics. The fender curve on the top case reads exactly like they described, a subtle wide body nod that gives the board a fuller stance. The bottom is denser than I expected with an air intake slot and the embedded aluminum nameplate. And the weight pattern is the highlight on the bottom. The large stainless steel weight has flying tool marks that are left raw. The small one is mirror PVD silver. Both reference the rear grille of a 911. In renders you can't really see it, but in person the texture has some depth. Worth holding it in your hands if you have a chance. The finish quality and color anodization are both pretty good. Now, aesthetics is where I do have some pushback. The Porsche silhouette is all curves. There are no hard edges on a 911, so I find it a little strange that the side and back edges of this keyboard come with a pretty sharp line. If it were just purely visual, that's fine, but the side and back edges are exactly where your fingers are gripping the board when you're picking it up. Sharp edges aren't as comfortable to grab as chamfered ones, and on a board designed specifically to reflect the curvy silhouette of the 911, this kind of comes across as a bit of an oversight. A soft chamfer on those edges will close the loop on the design intent. Hopefully Gritworks has that for the next revision. Mounting is a leaf spring gasket setup using silicone socks, and 2 things make it interesting. First is you get 2 hardness options right out the box, 30A and 50A. A lot of kits only ship with 1. Second thing is the socks are flippable. Narrow side down gives you suspended slots, more deformation, and bouncier feel. Wide side down fully supports the slots, solid and stable. Nice little touch to be able to fine tune your tight feel. And on top of that, for the Group Buy, Gritworks is now including 2 sets of pour-on gaskets as an alternative mounting style entirely. Unfortunately, we do not have the pour-on gaskets for our unit. While I do have other pour-on strips from other boards, I chose to not do a sound test with them because I cannot guarantee what the production unit will be like. And one of our goals in reviews is to get as close as we can to real life sound tests if you do choose to buy the board. So for this review, we have omitted the Poron gasket in our testing due to not having the official gaskets for this board. Another note on the Poron gaskets, with Poron gasket mounting, the plate can shift slightly, so you want to align the plate position before you screw the case down. Silicone socks will not have this issue at all. However, my gripe with a Poron option is to use it, you have to stick the gaskets onto your existing plate. Now, I get it, this one came late after prototypes finished testing, but a small friction fit groove on the case itself will let you swap between mounting types without buying anything extra. Right now, if you want to keep both mounting options without resticking gaskets every time, you have to buy a second plate and probably a second PCB. It's a small change for the next revision that will increase the quality of life dramatically. Quick note for newer viewers on why we even talk about plate mounting points at the spacebar. A lot of boards have mounting points right at or near the spacebar area, and that can deaden the largest key on your keyboard. Think about it like this: a ruler on a desk. Clamp it down with both hands and flick it, it barely moves. Clamp it with one hand and flick it, and it vibrates freely. Same idea for the keyboard plate. Lock both sides of the spacebar area down and the energy has nowhere to go, and the spacebar comes back flat and sounds kind of dead and pretty harsh to type on. Give the plate room to flex and the spacebar has room to vibrate, which gives you a better sound and a softer type feel. On a Jahre65, there are mounting points at the spacebar area. However, the plate design isolates this area really well, which avoids the aforementioned issue. A few wins on accessories: spare silicone socks, spare feet, spare screws, all are included. Our prototype came with feet pre-installed, which is a nice little thing. PCB options are MX solder, MX hot swap, or HE Venom for magnetic Hall effect switches. 1.6mm black core FR4 PCB, 8000 Hz polling, QMK and Vowel supported. A lot of features that are now considered standard these days. One buyer suggestion: pick up a spare daughter board at checkout. The DB is proprietary to the Jahre65 and not a standard part, so if it ever fails out of warranty or you lose it, you're not pulling one out of your parts bin. Now, I'm typically pretty hesitant when it comes to silicone socks. They tend to go thuddy. The dampening kills the upper register and you end up with a board that sounds a little dead and thumpy. The Jahre65 doesn't sound that way. It leans deeper than a typical gasket being design, but not muted or dead. One of the better tuned silicone socks implementation I've come across recently. Grit designed the silicone socks to have different type feel if you flip them. While you can tell the difference, the change is not dramatic. Think of it as a fine-tuning option. As for sound goes, I was not really able to tell much of a difference. So who is this for? If the Porsche theme really doesn't grab you, this is a hard sell at 335 USD for the bare bones. There are good 65% kits in this range without the theme tax. But if the heritage angle is your thing, or you just want flexibility, MX or HE plate, 3 PCB options, 2 SOX hardness, optional pour-on mount, vial ready, the Jahre65 may be a good pickup for you. Now skip if you want wireless, skip if you want to pick up a board off your desk a lot and that sharp edge may bother you. The Jahre65 is a confident effort from Gritworks that mostly delivers on the Porsche reference, with one design choice, those sharp edges that doesn't quite line up with a curvy silhouette it's reaching for. And I'll be honest, this is a bit of a nitpicking, but for a board at this price, a designer board, these things do stand out a bit more to me than a large OEM production board. The best single move for the next revision is chamfering the side and the back edges. The second move will be friction fit pour-on grooves on the case for the pour-on gasket mount. The collectible and heritage-worthy framing the designer used is a big swing, and it's a bit too early to see it if it actually fits the heritage-worthy. However, the foundation is there. Tell me in the comments, would you buy a kit because the theme grabs you, or do you need the build to do all the talking? If you have watched this video all the way through, thank you so much for the support. Love you all, and I'll see you in the next build.